YouTube for me and making video content literally has changed the trajectory of my life. I found myself not watching IGTV anymore myself. People end up finding other creators to collaborate with because of my live stream.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Animaker Genius Talk, a talk show where we interview genius minds from the world of videos and transfer some of their amazing knowledge to you. This is part 2 of our conversation with YouTuber, content creator, consultant, and live streamer Nick Nimmin. If you haven't checked out the first part of this conversation, I recommend you do it right away. All right, Nick, let's begin this part of the conversation with an interesting question. Can you tell us the 3 biggest mistakes that YouTubers are doing right now that's stopping them from reaching their potential?
3 mistakes. 1 would be patience and expectations. So a lot of people will start YouTube and they will think, well, hey, if I put out 10 videos, I should have a bunch of subscribers. I should have a bunch of views. YouTube's going to love it. My audience is going to love me and all of that stuff. But the reality is, like I mentioned when we first started talking, it's a long game, right? So when you come into it and you're expecting to just blow up right out of the gate, in most cases that doesn't happen. There are anomalies, that does happen to people, but those particular people will have a particular type of personality, or there'll be something that they are doing. Maybe they're pulling traffic from an external source or something like that to where they start feeding their watch time that way. But in most cases, there's a lot of work. It's a long process, and you're going to have to make a lot of content in order to really get the machine churning for you in your favor. The second mistake that people make, and let me back up on that again really quick. And in terms of that, with the expectation, just make sure that you look at it instead of saying, okay, I'm going to put out 10 videos, and then if it's not working, I'm going to quit. Look at it like, okay, I'm going to put out, X amount of videos, and I'm going to give myself a year. And I'm going to see the progress that I make. I'm going to write down, these are the views and subscribers that I'm getting right now. This is my audience retention. This is my click-through rate, my thumbnails. And then I'm just going to work on it over the course of the year. And I'm just going to keep trying every single video to get better than my last video. Some videos you will, some videos you won't. But I'm going to spend the next year trying to get better. And then I guarantee you, by the time you're finished with that year, you're going to be in a much better place than you are, when you first start out. So be patient and don't expect to right out of the gate, because it will take time in 99% of the cases. Now, the second problem the second mistake that people make is they'll say, okay, well, I'm going to put out, I'm going to start a channel. And because I don't know what people are going to like, I'm going to put out just tons of videos on just a bunch of random things and find what people say, oh, hey, we like this video, or this video gets a bunch of views. And then I'm going to start making that type of content. That's something that you don't want to do. You want to start out with a plan. You want to start out covering a specific topic or a specific set of topics that are all directly related to each other. Because what happens is, let's say that you have a channel where you're sharing information on how to fix cars, okay? That's one of your topics. And you also, on that same channel, you have gaming content. Well, what happens is, when you upload your automotive content, let's say a lot of your subscribers are coming in from that automotive content, and then you upload gaming content. Well, those people that subscribe for the automotive stuff, they don't care about your gaming content. So when those notifications go out, they're not going to click on them. They're not going to come in and watch your videos, which is going to hurt your click-through rate on your subscribers, which basically tells YouTube that even the people that are subscribed to your channel don't really care about the content that you're putting out. So basically what you're doing is you're actually breaking that consistency, where if you focus on one particular topic, what you're going to get, let's say that every single video on your channel, that's also going to hurt your view to subscribe ratio as well. But let's say that every single video on your channel is directly related to, how to fix cars. Well, what you're going to run into there is people are going to start finding your channel as a resource. So every video that you put out, you're increasing the likelihood of people clicking and watching that video. Because you're becoming a resource for people, you're also increasing the likelihood that people are going to share your content. For example, somebody walks up to me and says, hey, I have to fix my fan belt. Then if you had an entire channel about, how to fix cars, then I would say, hey, go check out this channel XYZ here. They actually, they have tons of stuff. They've got like 8 different videos on how to fix fan belts. So that'll definitely be a good place for you to go. And you increase your word of mouth and just your general sharing when you focus on a particular topic. Another place that this gets amplified is, let's say that you have a channel just on, covering car information. that also allows you to integrate into the community in terms of other car enthusiasts and other people that do something similar and people that are looking for your type of content. As an example, there's Facebook groups about people, hey, I need to fix this particular type of car. You can post your videos in there. You can become a part of that community and actually help people, sending them to your videos or not, just be helpful in that community, become known as, hey, this is not only the guy that's in here helping us out in this Facebook group, but just as a heads up, he's also got a YouTube channel. Right. And then you start becoming that guy that gets known for that particular type of content in Facebook groups, on Reddit, and forums that are around, whatever topic it is that you operate in and so on. So the power that comes from having a specific topic or a specific topic set is humongous when it comes to long-term growth and really getting some strong momentum going behind your channel. And the next one is consistency. So a lot of content creators, because here's the truth. Like I was saying at the beginning of this conversation, like when I was doing my graphic design service and doing YouTube, I had to make those decisions, right? I'm going to do the graphic design or I'm going to do YouTube. And then I would always default to YouTube. So those decisions have to be made in terms of how much of a priority is your YouTube channel and that content that you're putting out and whatever opportunities you're trying to create for yourself in the future based on what it is that you're doing in your YouTube channel. So it's really important to make sure that if you're going to put out content for the sake of turning it into something that you can create opportunities from in the future, it's really important that you make it a priority and that you make sure that you consistently upload content on a regular basis. Because if you're uploading a video a month or a video every 2 weeks, and you're not constantly pinging the algorithm, you're not constantly staying at the top of mind for the people that are into your content, it's going to be a lot more difficult to grow a community, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to get real serious traction on your YouTube channel if you're not continually putting out content on it.
All right. Those are three very important points that all young YouTubers should definitely take notice of. Now,
without question, and yeah, that was a little long-winded, but I want to make sure that I'm sharing some good value here. So
definitely, that's very valuable, Nick. So when I noticed your YouTube channel for the first time, I think it was about 6 or 8 months ago. The first thing that I noticed really well was your live stream, right? So it was not just a live stream for the sake of it, but the audience were really engaging, and you actually got some celebrity YouTubers who are good creators themselves. They join the conversation. Yeah, so that's amazing. So how did live stream really help you grow your channel? Did it really impact the growth?
It has. It's actually, I would say it's impacted my community engagement, my community more than it has just the growth, right? Because of course, if you have a live stream and then over the course of that live stream, you've got 3,000 people or 4,000 people that come through the live stream, of course, that's going to help your channel, right? But what it does for the community is absolutely incredible. Okay, as an example, people end up finding other creators to collaborate with because of my live streams. People have become friends in real life because of my live streams, right? So having that environment to where it's not just about me, right? It's about basically they come there to learn about YouTube, but they also come there to interact with each other. Right. So I have a ton of familiar faces that are in my live stream every Saturday. And in most cases, they're actually waiting for the stream to start. And it's a nice core group of people to where when new people are coming in and they start coming in on a regular basis, they start getting noticed by the community welcomes them in, and friendships are made, collaborations are made. And it's just this whole group of people that have become friends and have become to know each other either in real life or on the internet or both, just because of the live stream. So in terms of it being something that helps grow my channel, absolutely it is. But it's more importantly than that, it's also become a place to where other content creators can meet up every week. They know that it's going to happen right around the same time every week, and they can count on it in terms of being there so that they can come and interact with other creators. Because here's the thing, if you're a content creator and you're somebody that's putting out content on a regular basis, in a lot of cases, you're doing it alone, right? In a lot of cases, people are like, they're doing this for their hobby, or doing this to, connect with other people that are interested in their hobbies and things like that. And their families don't understand, their friends don't really understand. And because of that, having that community of other content creators that you can hang out with, that you can answer questions with, that you can ask questions with, that you can talk to on Facebook. If you see something happening in your stats, you can hit up friends that you've met in the community and say, hey, I just noticed a big spike, or I just noticed, over the last 3 days, I've been down quite a bit. I just wanted to check and see if that's happening with anybody else. What happens is you start creating, these additional people that you can lean on that on the same exact thing that you're doing. They're in the same exact struggle that you are, and they're having the same problems that you are, so that you can, have basically a support system of other content creators. So in terms of what it does for the channel, in my opinion, it's more about the community aspect of that live stream than it is about, what I get in watch time and that kind of thing.
One thing I want to ask you is, you managed to bring that personality element into your thumbnails as well. Mm-hmm. Thumbnails are very famous across YouTube, and whenever I come across any topic and I come across your video, it never misses my eye. So how do you manage to do that? Tell us some tips about your thumbnail secret.
Yeah, it's not really a secret. Well, I guess the big secret is that I have a graphic design background, right? So I have a graphic design background. I dabbled in photography. I dabbled in video production and things like that. So because of that, I was able to take those skills that I had from my former life, so to speak, and apply them to what it is that I'm doing on YouTube, which definitely gives me an advantage without question. But one of the things that I do is I lean really hard on colors. Because, of course, people respond to certain colors more than they respond to other colors. Like, as an example, the YouTube platform is white, right? It's white unless you're in dark mode. And then in that case, it's like a charcoal color. So when you're making thumbnails and your thumbnails are mostly white with like a few, dark colored words on them, then in that particular case, it's not really going to pop, so to speak. But if you can say, okay, like one of my thumbnails that I really like to use, it's basically like 3/4 of it is white. And then the whole side of it, like the whole additional quarter, is just my face, right? Or it's actually 2/3 are white. And then the third, the final third, it's just my face, right? It's just, it literally covers, from, like, I don't even think you see my neck actually in that frame. It's just face, right? All face. And the reason for that is because people connect with faces on YouTube. So when they are looking around the platform, I want them to see my face, because that works for me in 2 ways. 1, it helps me build my personal brand. 2, it helps build me as somebody that people know. And 3, it helps make my content recognizable no matter where people see it on the platform. So as an example, if you were to log into YouTube and you saw a thumbnail that was mine, but it didn't have my face on it, then you're a lot less likely to click on that if you're a fan of mine, right? Because you don't even know it's mine in the first place. The only thing that would help you identify that it was mine is if I used my actual text style, which is basically the text, the words with the blocks behind them. And then I had that, because I have a special way that I do that also helps my thumbnail stand out. And that would be the secondary thing that would help you identify that it's my content. So when it comes to the magic, so to speak, for my thumbnails, I put a really strong emphasis on the face, no matter what thumbnail it is that I'm making. And then in addition to that, I use words in my thumbnail. And those words typically, in that white space that I do have, those words typically cover up a majority of that white space, to where the white space is more of a frame around the words themselves. And then I limit it to just a few words. They're very big, they're very bold, very attention grabbing, but I limit the text that I use in my thumbnails to just a few words that are either pain points that people are looking for, that people are trying to solve, or they are, something that complements the actual title of the video itself, so that when somebody's looking around, those words will grab their attention, or my big face in the thumbnail will grab their attention.
Wow, those are really good tips. In fact, this is one of the biggest problems that we encounter when we work with video creators ourselves. Our team is actually building a tool, which is in a closed beta version right now, exclusively for YouTubers who are creating thumbnails. I think you should really check it out later.
Nice. I will. Thank you.
All right. So we've come to the end of section 2 and we're going to section 3. Nick, this is what we call Inside the Genius Mind. All right. So this is going to be a rapid fire section. I'm going to throw some really quick questions at you. And I want you to give me answers right off the top of your mind without giving it much of thought. All right.
Okay.
Favorite YouTuber apart from yourself?
D. Nimmin, my brother.
All right. That's a safe answer. Most interesting viral YouTube video that you saw recently?
Most interesting viral YouTube video. I like the ones with the Kiki song. I'm not sure who sings it, but those have been kind of fun.
So when are you going to do the Kiki challenge?
Yeah, not doing it. Yeah, not going to happen.
Okay. One interesting and one embarrassing moment from your live streams.
Let's see here. Embarrassing moment is when the live streams just don't work because the technology, we end up having, like a hang up somewhere with the audio or the video or something like that. Those are usually the most embarrassing. And what was the other side of that?
Most interesting.
Most interesting? I think the most interesting is when we have guests on the show. We don't do that often because of where we're located. But me personally, I really like having a guest on a show because kind of like our conversation right now, we have other prominent people in the space. They'll come on the show and they'll share with us, their journey, their experience and things like that. So for me personally, that's the most interesting part of it. We've had a nice handful of creators come on the show now. We've had we've even had a local Thai YouTuber on there, which is also really cool. But yeah, I really enjoy the guests that we have on the show.
All right, that's amazing. So next question is one reason why anyone should become a YouTuber today and one reason why they shouldn't.
The reason they should is because if you do it correctly, the amount of opportunity that can come from putting yourself out there by making yourself vulnerable, essentially, and putting yourself out there and sharing what it is that you know and your thoughts and your ideas with other people in the world, the opportunities that can come from that are staggering. In addition to that, you also have the ability to create friends and influence people that you might not have ever had the chance to reach. Like as an example, let's say that you are making those videos about how to fix your car. Well, if you are the type of person that likes to inspire and lift up other people, then you would have the ability, you would have an audience to where in your videos you can say something uplifting to the people that are watching your videos. It doesn't have to be a whole video about it. It can just be a little snippet of something just encouraging people to keep going, or, hey, if your car's broken down and things are going bad, hang in there because, it'll end up, working out, like whatever your message is. If you want to mix any of that into your content, you have that stage, that platform to where you can do it. And then you can essentially, plant those positive ideas or negative, depending on the type of person you are, but you can plant those ideas into the minds of, thousands, hundreds of thousands of other people around the planet, which is an amazing thing in my opinion. And the reason that people shouldn't go on YouTube is if it's not something they're going to dedicate to, if it's not something that fits into what it is that they're doing. Like as an example, like if you're doing something to where it's like, hey, I'm working all the time. I don't really have time to learn the process of how to make thumbnails, how to make videos, how to engage an audience, all that stuff. It's just not a reality of something I'm going to be able to do. Then don't do it. Your time is probably better spent doing something else in that case.
Okay. The second one seems like a bitter pill, but that's the fact of it, right?
It is. And that's the really hard facts because there is such a learning curve when it comes to YouTube and creating content in general. Just the graphic design side of making effective thumbnails, just that by itself, you could spend a year learning, all the concepts that go into that. And the same thing with like your video production, how you present, your cadence when you talk, like all of it, like you can spend tons of time on this stuff. And if you don't have the time to dedicate to it, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And, the realities of it are, if you don't have the time, then you're not going to get the results that you're after.
Very true. Next one is an interesting question, Nick. I want to know your opinion on this. Is IGTV an existential threat to YouTube?
No, not even close. At least right now. Like, I'll be honest, when IGTV first started, I thought, this is not a competitor in any way, shape, or form, but I'm going to start uploading content here on a regular basis. I uploaded 4 videos, I think, and I found myself not watching IGTV anymore myself. I watched it for the sake of seeing what other people are doing. That's why I was watching it. But now I don't find myself watching it myself. And because of that, I've slowed my production down. I may or may not, I haven't decided yet, but I may or may not continue putting content there just because I don't like the interface. I don't like, there's a lot of aspects about it that I personally don't like. But I think that with my personal tastes taking out of the equation, I still don't think it's even close to being a competitor because here's the thing. When you go on YouTube, it's kind of like going on Netflix, right? You go on Netflix or Hulu or whatever, or on YouTube, and you go there with the expectation, I'm going to spend time watching videos, right? So you have in your mind, you have this, okay, well, I'm going here and this is going to take me 10 minutes. This is going to take me 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever time that you have to put into watching content. You know that you're going to lose some time when you go to YouTube. When you're on IGTV, that's something that you're doing when you're like sitting on the sofa, or when you are, like doing other things, and then you're just kind of flipping through, right? You're flipping through, you're watching for 15 seconds, maybe a minute, and then you're flipping through. So it's not a place to where they have like a real sit back experience to where you can just turn on a playlist, sit back, relax, and watch tons and tons and tons of really good content. Because what they're going to do is they're going to serve you based on their algorithms. They're going to serve you content that is stuff that may be going viral, but it might not be anywhere within your tastes. To where on YouTube, you can find a playlist, click on that playlist, sit back and watch the thing, and enjoy every single video on the playlist. So I think it's just a totally different experience. And I think because of that is why it's not even close to being a YouTube competitor.
Well, you've really got your facts right. I think people in IGTV should definitely notice the facts that you've pointed out.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, with that said, sorry to cut you off, but with that said, it is another platform. It is another place to where you can distribute your content. So if you are trying to build your personal brand and you are trying to get yourself out there, so to speak, definitely look at it as an asset. But in terms of it being a competitor, absolutely not.
All right. So as a professional YouTuber who spends a lot of time on YouTube, can you really imagine a world without YouTube? How would that world be?
Yeah, I really can't. I mean, technically I can. I can remember, I'm old enough to remember a world without the internet. So, so I can definitely imagine a world without YouTube because I used to ride my bicycle in it, But in terms of, like how things would be different now, yeah, it would be crazy because YouTube, in addition to it being a place where, you can grow your influence, it's also a place that it's become such an educational resource for people all over the world. I mean, YouTube is translated, like localized into 88 different languages in 88 different countries. It's actually translated into more, but it's localized into 88 different countries. And what that means, if you're not familiar, is that means, like, as an example, I'm in Thailand, so I can go to youtube.com or YouTube, I think it's youtube.com/th as an example, or th.youtube, whatever it is. And then they have like hey, this is the channels in Thailand. That's all you're going to see. Right. So because of that, I just lost my train of thought on where I was going with that.
So I just asked you about how a world without YouTube would be.
Yes. Yeah. And because of that, it's become such an educational resource for all of these different people in all of these different countries. And I think without it, then we would go back to, having to Google things the hard way and actually read stuff and things like that, which, as our evolution, happens through this whole social revolution that's happening right now, I definitely don't think that people want to go back to reading long form blog posts, in the near future.
So that's going to be my next question, Nick. Whenever we are trying to, dominate a particular keyword, let's say in blogs, one of the major technique that a lot of people follow is called the skyscraper, where we create a lot of content around that particular area, or maybe in-depth content on that particular area, and then you go after that keyword and you win it over and dominate it, even though there are some big shots playing there. How can you translate that sort of a strategy into YouTube?
Same exact thing. The same exact concept applies. And that's where having a niche channel really comes into play. When you're focused on a particular topic, what happens eventually is, let's say that you have a channel about like microphones, right? Or like production equipment. Well, what's going to happen is, as you continue to put out content about production equipment, eventually you're going to start making content that is very similar to the other channels out there that are also making content about production equipment. So what happens is YouTube starts grouping you with these other channels because they start noticing, or the algorithm starts noticing, that, hey, the people that watch this channel also watch these other channels that are also on this similar topic. So then it starts suggesting you around those particular channels more. And then the more and more content like that you make, the more you solidify your position next to these bigger channels that are also covering the same topic. So niching down is the way to do that. And the same exact thing applies in terms of going after specific things, like, as an example, going after like how to grow your YouTube channel. Right? Like that whole set of keywords there. If you search around for those, you'll find me somewhere in all of those, because that's what my channel has become. And because of that, using that same approach, they're connecting me next to all of these other channels that also cover the same type of topics that were way bigger than me before, but I'm gaining ground on now.
Wow. And you're definitely gaining ground fast, Nick. I can see that. Your channel is growing rapidly. Kudos on that.
Thank you.
So I think we've come to the end of the session, Nick. I hope you enjoyed the session too.
I did. It was fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So if there's one message that you want our audience to take from this interview session, what would that be?
Start now. If you're considering going on YouTube, don't be intimidated by it. Yes, there's a learning curve. Yes, people might judge you. Yes, people will judge you when you make your content, but you can always block negative comments. You can delete people from the channel and things like that. But if you're considering it and you're on that fence and you're saying, well, it's something that I would really love to do because I think the culture around YouTube and making video content is really awesome. But, I have this reason, and this reason that I'm not going to do it or that I can't do it. Try to overcome those, because if it's something that you really want to do, you don't know what the future is going to hold for you. Like YouTube for me and making video content literally has changed the trajectory of my life. And if I wouldn't have started, if I wouldn't have said, yeah, okay, I'll give it a shot and see what happens, see if I can make this thing work. If I wouldn't have done that, then I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in right now, to where, I'm able to, like, everything's going great for me, but I'm also able to help other people in my personal circle, and I'm able to help people around the world, do better at what it is that they're doing, because I was able to, or because I made that choice of starting and trying to figure out how the whole thing works. So if you're considering it, you're on the fence, start, because the last thing that you want is a year from now to start, and then things start going well and you start thinking, man, why didn't I just do this a year earlier? Because then you have all of that time that you just lost that you're not going to be able to regain. So if you're considering it, start now. At least give it a shot if you're on the fence, because it sounds weird, but it's a magical thing in the sense of, like, the opportunities and things like that, the connections that you make, the friends that you make through what it is that you do on YouTube, like all of that stuff it's all stuff that without it, of course, you wouldn't be able to tap into. So it's an amazing thing. So if you're considering it, definitely get started.
Wow. I would definitely love to leave my audience on that thought. So if you're starting on YouTube, start now. I have that last one question for you. How can our audience find you?
Okay. You can find me, the easy way is go to nicknimmin.com, and then that will take you everywhere. But you can also find me specifically on YouTube at youtube.com/Nick Nimmin, and that's NickNimmin.
All right. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today, Nick. I really enjoyed this session and I learned a lot about YouTube. I'm very sure our audience would feel the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it again. Thank you so much.
Guys, if you really enjoyed the show, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest episodes of Animaker Genius Talk. And if you want to see your favorite video creators on this show, go ahead and comment below and we'll make sure to get them for the future episodes. Until then, take care. This is Aravind from Team Animaker signing off.